Hello, my name is Astuti Dyah Kusuma Wardani from English Department 2019 and I come from B class. Today, I want to tell you about what is poetry and its characteristics. So, let's go! There are three literature genres, that is poetry, drama or play, and prose. And today, I will tell you about what is poetry and its characteristics based on me and my friend's second meeting on Zoom that held on 26th of August 2020. Also, I will tell you the slightly differences between poetry, drama or play, and prose. So, check it out! First, talk about poetry. Poetry is one of the part of the literature genres and it's expressed through meaning, rhyme, and rhythm. Also, poetry is an imaginary where the reader and listeners is made their own imagination while they read or listen it. Every literature genres have their own characteristic. It's same with poetry. It also have a main characteristic. There are three main characteristics of poetry. There is stanza, rhyme, and rhythm. For those of you who don't know what is the writer of the poetry, it's called poet or poetic. To get any feature, I want to tell you the short information about the history of poetry. So, poetry predates written text. Also, in the past, poetry it has been recited or sung. And you know that in the past, poetry is used to remember oral history, genealogy, and folklore. It's so interesting, right? I think from the explanations above, we already understood about what is poetry. Calm down, we won't stop here. After this, I will tell you about the characteristic of poetry. See you! Hello, welcome to this section. In this section, I will tell you about the characteristic of poetry. And also, I will tell you with my own language, so it makes us easier to understand about the characteristic of poetry. So, let's go. First, stanza. Stanza is a confident sentence. Stanza is similar with paragraphs in prose. Stanza is usually called as a verse that's separated with blank of space, and stanza is a set of lines. Second, rhythm. Poetry is familiar with sound pattern. We can call it rhythm. Rhythm is like the beat in music. Yes, that's right. It used to create a sound harmony, or it's like a tone that relaying a certain emotional feeling. Next is rhyme. Rhyme is the repetition at the end of words or sounds. To get more easily to understand, I will give you the example from the poetry. The title is Golden Can Stay by Robert Frost that is written on 1923. Let's go! Nature is first green, is gold. Her hardest hue to hold. Her early leaf a flower, but only so an hour. Then a leaf subside to live, so it a song to grieve. So dawn goes today, nothing gold can stay. From the poetry with the title with Golden Can Stay by Robert Frost, we can see or we can find the end of the word. It's like a gold, hold, flower, hour, leaf, grief, today, and stay. It's called the rhyme or the repetition of the end of the sound. Okay, next is line. Line is consists with one or more line. Line is the unit of language in poetry. If there is two lines, we call it couplet. If there is 3 line, we call it triplet, and if there is 4th line, we call it quartet. And then the next characteristic is diction. Diction is the author's choice of word. Diction is like we think like why this word is here and why not that word in this place. Okay, I hope that you understand. Also, diction is divided into 2. It's connotation and denotation. Connotation is when you open up your dictionary, so the meaning is from the dictionary. If denotation is associated with its literal meaning or there is a deeper meaning. I will give you an example. It's a word flower. In connotation, flower is a plant, but in the denotation, flower is we can see is as a woman, girlfriend, or a beautiful. Okay, I hope that you understand. So next we will go to the figurative word or figurative language. Figurative word or language is usually as known as poetic is language to construct their language. Yes, it's true. It's make the poetry such a deeper meaning because it's the choice of the poetic to put words to their poetry. Like in speaking, there is 2 meaning. In the text meaning and the speaking meaning. Okay, the next is verse. Verse is like the whole of the poetry or the line of the poetry. Well, I think it's clear about the characteristic of poetry, and I will tell you the slight differences between poetry, drama or play, and prose. If in the poetry there is rhythm, stanza, and rhyme. In the drama or play, there is a dialogues, acts, and scenes. And in the prose, there is a narrations and paragraph and also chapter. So we are in the end of this section. I hope that you guys will understand about what I'm saying today about what is poetry and about the characteristic of the poetry. So to sum up this section and all the sections today, so poetry is one of the part of the literature genres that's expressing through meaning and also rhyme and rhythm. Poetry has characters is a stanza, rhythm, rhyme, and also lines, diction, verse, and figurative words. And the writer of the poetry is poetic. Well, I think it's enough. I hope this video will help us to improve our knowledge in poetry. And see you in the next meeting in our poetry class. Goodbye!